Alright, so today we're going to be replacing a tank on a rower, and I'll be walking through step by step. First step, we'll remove these two pegs using a 5mm Allen key. Now we will lift this plate, and then we'll remove the top cover by lifting and pulling. We use the top cover to maintain all the hardware as we remove everything. Next, we remove these two bolts with a 4mm Allen key. Next, we remove these two bolts with the 5mm Allen key. When you're removing these two bolts with the 5mm Allen key, remember that there is the bolt retaining nuts and the holes in the wood here and here. Be prepared to catch those as you remove the bolt. We'll lift the board off of the frame. Disconnect the sensor from the console. Inspect both the sensor, the cable, the connection, and we'll inspect the sensor teeth for damage. Clearly, the sensor teeth on this machine has been damaged and we will be replacing. So we'll remove this mount using a 5mm Allen key. There'll be 4 bolts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Move the console and the frame. Inspect the console for good working condition and check for damages. Now it's time to remove the pulleys. Before you remove the pulleys, note their position and where they're at, so that way you can return them to the proper position whenever you're reinstalling. Note the placement of the straps, the placement of the spacers, and which side which pulley belongs. If you find it difficult to remove the pin from the board, you can use a pair of pliers as leverage and get a pair of dikes to lift it out. The same process on the next pulley, ensuring to maintain all the hardware, and make sure you do your best not to damage this pin if you're going to be reusing it. It's hard to keep undamaged if you're going to be using pliers to remove it, so make sure you have extra of these on hand. Hook the bungee cord and remove the strap from the pulley. It will feed from that pulley to here and around here, so we'll remove the strap completely. Have the strap pulled all the way out. You will see it's maintained in place by a hook right here. All you have to do is lift and pull it out. If the bottom strap is removed, we can remove the top strap. You will remove this cap and pull the strap all the way out. Strap pulled out to the end. You will see it's maintained in place with a 3mm Allen key bolt. We'll remove that bolt, and then we will pull the strap out from the clip, and you'll see that it's maintained in place through the clip here. All we'll do, like I said, remove that bolt and remove the strap. Now that the straps are removed, last step, we can remove the two 5mm Allen key bolts from both sides, remembering that the retention nuts are here and here in the boards. Now that the tank is completely released, we can lift by the pulley and remove the tank. Now that the old tank is removed, we will scrape off the old felt and replace with fresh felt to protect the new tank. The felt replaced, now it's time to replace the tank. Now, depending on your location, it might be easier to take the tank to the janitor's closet and fill the tank over there rather than running a hose all the way in here. Now remember, when you're filling the tank, we fill up to the 17 line on the sticker on the side of the tank. So we'll fill until we get there to the 17. We filled the tank with water. Don't forget, we're going to put in 2 chlorine tablets to preserve the water. Step is we're going to secure the tank into place by replacing the 2 bolts using the 5mm Allen key through here and here. Get a good tight fit with these bolts because they love to walk themselves out while people are rowing. We will replace the pins, the pulleys, and spacers the exact same way they were before. Once the new tank is in position, we can mark the board with your initials and the date, so that way we know who installed it and when. Installing the top strap. Take the strap, feed it through the groove, It'll feed around the pulley, back around, into here, and then secure in place with the retaining nut. Into place, all we have to do is turn the pulley to wind it up. I will connect the bottom strap through the hook here and then wrap it around. Now, with the top pulley completely in place, I'm going to give myself about 6 to 8 inches of slack off the top pulley and leave that there. Now, with the bottom strapped on, I'm going to give it one complete turn around the pulley and then feed it around and down to connect to the bungee cord. Make sure you got it right. If you pull the strap and put it to where it sits, the cup link between the bungee cord and the strap should sit just between the tank and the frame. We have our straps connected right and everything in position. We can go ahead and attach the top board and the sensors. The new sensor, and you just slide it over the top of the pulley. Remove the old sensor and replace with the new one. Now we can reinstall the console and frame using the 4 5mm Allen key bolts. Once they're in place, we can reinstall the top board. Installing the top board, be very careful. Ensure that all the posts are in the proper position and make sure that the teeth on the sensor do not damage the teeth on the sensor wheel. Visually inspect that it sits into place properly. The sensor to the console. These 2 bolts with a 4mm Allen key. Attach the 2 bolts and the 2 bolt retention nuts in the board. Reinstalling these bolts. There is a flathead thread on the retaining nut. You can use a flathead screwdriver or bit to ensure that it's straight and in line while you're inserting these bolts. Otherwise, you'll have a difficult time keeping everything straight and aligned to get these threaded. Install the top cover and replace the pins. Pins go in with a 5mm Allen key. Once everything's reinstalled, run the machine and test for proper function, and then clean up your work area.